schools and how it's doing all this with students, and they said, I've heard some of it. Well, did you know that it's happening right now and it's something that you guys can jump on board with?
So I was a sergeant, I was an E5, seeing the work that we were doing with the kids and seeing like, hey, this is something that we can really build and make a positive influence on the kids that we're working with.
Particularly, Bubba, here's my big thing, particularly people who look like me.
Yeah.
In the educational technology space and in the esports space, because I said that it's being underserved. I need for directors, I need for teachers, I need for students, I need for anybody to, when I'm talking to them, they say, oh, whoa. And they may not say it, but I know sometimes they're thinking it, well, there's this African-American, there's this black man in this space talking esports, talking educational technology. We may have not seen that before, and that's important.
Like as you said earlier, you mentioned like a parent asking about esports challenges for their kid. I think that's like wonderful. Like how many parents back in the day actually had interest in gaming when it's not like, you know, academically viable.
And so I reached out to Mike and Christy. Their contact information was on there. I found them through High School Esports League, which was our league coincidentally. Christy answered my email and she was like, you know, you've got some technical questions. I'm gonna loop Mike in on this.
Of course.
It was just the best meeting I've ever had.
Hey, I know you're already going to be here for the tennis tournament. You got to come by, dude. Take 15 minutes out of the tennis tournament, come inside, you know, get a breath of the air-conditioned air, and just come see what my kids are doing. And that's all it took. They just had to see it with their own eyes. Oh, these are the kids that are playing in esports. It was the kids who ate lunch by themselves, the kids with no friends, the kids, we were worried about them dropping out of school. But hey, you know what? They came to school on Friday because they wanted to play Super Smash Brothers in the library.
My name's Kyle Mullins. I'm the youth pastor and work with 6th through 12th graders. It's probably where we started spending the most time together is when we went to China and put on a soccer camp. Oh, and then got into streaming a couple months ago between my fumbling through the world and, well, gaming all of my life, but now fumbling into streaming and stuff.
One thing that's really important to me is the kids learn to be positive influence, to not be toxic. I've seen kids get really mean and be bullies.
If the industry truly wants to actually serve these communities, and it's going to come from the publisher down, we're going to have to provide support behind titles that can be played on the platform that these communities can actually have access to. It comes from the publisher down, it's just the empathy comes from the businesses and the consumers down.
You know what? Let me in front of you. Let me be your shield, and that way you don't die as quick.
In addition, I think one of the more exciting things I got to do is I got to be one of the official co-streamers for the Overwatch League opening day this past season.
Well, my background's actually in acting. I went to school for musical theater back in the day. I don't think I can talk and clean. It's very complicated.
All good things sometimes must come to an end. I'm actually leaving the world of education.
What?
Yep, big reveal. 6 days. I'm actually in conversations right now about my next steps.
This was announced officially here in the public on the show. Were you a CIA agent? I just have to ask you.
I was not. I did work in the Bureau of Intelligence and Research.
Yeah. Oh crap! Oh crap!
Oh no! Well, it looks like.
I should have stayed so close to the edge.
ESA is the voice and advocate for the video game industry in the United States.
And we're really lucky in that we get to stay really mission driven and stay focused on the impact that this is having on students and schools. We don't really need to get into the nitty gritty of the numbers, which is, I think the thing is like an educator, you probably fear when you're leaving the classroom.
If you'd like to be on Invite Sent to be interviewed and play video games, please go to bubbagatter.com and request to be on the show. And I'll let you know if the invite is sent.
Oh my god.
Trade.
Trade. Yeah. Come on in, big guy. Come on. You won't.
How do you heal and how do you live? What?
He threw a black hole at us like Thanos. You can't. That's not a button. I don't have that button.
I don't have that button either. All right. Welcome. Thank you for being here and welcome to Invite Sent. We are a live streaming show where we play video games and interview people. I've got a fun show today. We get to get back on the Switch. I've only used the Switch on this show maybe 2 or 3 times with Smash Brothers and maybe Legends of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. So I'm excited to get back on and play some Mario Kart, which is a staple of any millennial. And I'm super excited because I've got an amazing guest with me today who actually teaches this kind of stuff for a living. So hopefully I will learn a lot of stuff today. But I'm going to bring in the amazing Miss Devyn. How are you today?
Doing good. How are you doing today, Bubba?
I am super awesome. We were just talking about pickleball a little bit ago and how much pickleball is fun. I'm like geared up. Like usually I'm just kind of, it's the morning and I will have these shows and but I've got some energy in me today. I'm ready to play.
On the adrenaline rush. You're gonna come in swinging. I'll be like,
100%. So okay, well we've got the game loaded up. I'm ready to jump in. Ready to get this bad boy rolling. What do we do? Let's go.
Let's do it. All right, let's start our race. So this will be the first thing I teach you because you were saying you haven't done a lot of online play. You need to choose what course you want to go on, and I will choose the course that I want to go on, and then the camera will do the do. So I'm feeling kind of old school, and I think I'm gonna choose one from the N64.
Okay. So which one of these is the N64? Okay. I see it.
Yep. So there are some DLC courses on the Nintendo Switch Mario Kart game.
You already know.
I already know.
You know what I'm going for.
Rainbow Road, yes, I love Rainbow Road. It's such a good race. It's so good.
That's right.
Well, and it's fun
let's
to tell
go.
my students that I'm like, this is a totally different Rainbow Road because when we played on the N64, like you couldn't see where you were going because it was so pixelated.
Right.
I'm like, you're spoiled, guys.
Yeah, that's exactly true. Let's see. I want to make sure I got the right. There we go. Okay. All right. So don't destroy me too bad.
Oh,
because I don't even know what button. I'm going backwards. Obviously, I don't have the right button.
It's A. You got to do A, Bubba. Always. When in doubt, push A.
When in doubt, push A.
In any Switch game, really.
That's right. Okay, so Rainbow Road. I mean, this is a staple of gaming. It really is. In of all things. Dark God on Twitch. Hello. How are you? Thanks for being here. Okay, so what was your favorite game growing up? Actually, what was your first game that you ever played?
My first game I ever played. Okay, so I grew up in a house where we had 3 Nintendo systems simultaneously when I started gaming. So we had the NES, the SNES, and the N64.
Okay.
And I was not very good on the NES. I mean, I carried around that orange duck hunt gun like it was my best friend, but I didn't know how to play or anything. But I remember playing Super Mario Bros, the old one on the SNES with my sister. I was always Luigi because she was older. But the game that I feel like really made me get into gaming was Ocarina of Time. I loved that game. All I did was fish, but I was really good at fishing,
Yeah.
But I remember I would come home on the weekends. My oldest brother would be playing, and he's about 10 years older than I am, and he would be playing Ocarina of Time, and I would just sit there and watch. I didn't even have to pretend to play with my own controller. I was just entranced by Zelda and the game, and that's the game I always think of as my first one.
Nice. Katie Howard says hello, Miss Devyn. Hi, Miss Devyn on YouTube. Welcome.
Miss Katie is one of my Outschool teachers, actually.
Oh, nice.
She's one of our teachers on Outschool, so she plays a lot of Splatoon with her students, and she does a Breath of the Wild class and a couple others. But yep, she is one of my own teachers, Kate. Hey, Katie.
And let's see, Abby on Twitch says, hey, Miss Devyn. Her Twitch name is Ranquista. Okay.
That's another one of my teachers. My teachers are coming out saying their hellos. Yes. Miss Abby knows the Minecraft things that I don't know.
Okay, nice. I think I finally made it across the finish line. I'm 10th place.
Done.
Oh, that was 3 rounds. Wait, I did 3 laps in that time? That was rough. I was sitting here trying to fix my audio at the same time. I gotta roll the Yoshi. I got my pink shirt on today. I'm rolling the Yoshi. That's what's up.
Absolutely.
So that was kind of your first games. Was that your go-to game, the Zelda?
It was. I mean, I loved Zelda whenever I wanted to do a solo game. That was the game I would go for. But I remember growing up, me and my siblings, we would have Mario parties all the time. We'd make popcorn and we'd play Mario Party. And
Nice.
Same brother, my oldest brother, he was always Donkey Kong. And so in my mind, this was how my little Miss Devyn mind worked. I was like, he's really good at Mario Party, which means he's trained up this Donkey Kong to be really good at Mario Party. So if I'm Donkey Kong, I will be like tapping into those skills. So I was always Donkey Kong. And if someone else was and they won, I was like, oh, I trained him too well, you know. So Mario Party was a big one we played. What else did I play? Ocarina of Time. Mario Kart was a huge one in our house too. We had all the Mario games. And then as I got older and I got a GameCube later on and a PlayStation 2, I played some Kingdom Hearts, which, I fell in love with that game.
Yeah, same.
And what else did I love? I loved Mario Kart Double Dash on the GameCube. I loved that one. Yeah,
Mario Kart Double Dash?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that one. I don't know if I'm familiar with that one.
So
Enlighten me.
it was a unique way to go about Mario Kart. It was the first time they introduced 2 items that you could hold. But what was cool about it was you had 2 characters. So you had like one in the front driving and then one was in the back holding an item.
Yeah.
And then each character had a special item. So if you wanted to be able to use, I always wanted to use the 3 red shells. So you had to be Paratroopa. He was the only one who could get that. And like Donkey Kong had a giant banana that when you ran into it, it would, not dissolve, but split into 3 bananas. So I loved Double Dash on the GameCube. It was so good.
Love it. Well, anybody out there, Katie or Abby, what were your favorite games growing up? Drop them in the chat. What is the trick that I always forget? First of all, how do I drift? What button do I hit for drift?
Drift, you need to hit ZR on your
that one.
on your controller. Yep.
ZR,
your back
I
trigger.
looked down. I looked down to find out which one it was. This is true.
That's all right. Yeah, so ZR is what's going to give you your drift. Your items are ZL, and then when you go off a jump, shake your controller, and you'll do a fancy little flip.
Ooh.
Right? Isn't that fancy? It always feels so fancy.
Shake my controller. Okay, nice. All right. Katie says, I love Double Dash, one of my favorites. You could switch who was driving to switch the items too. I feel like this sounds kind of familiar. Sounds kind of familiar for sure.
And there were so many good courses on it. But yeah, you could also, so as you were playing like as a group, what I would love to do is if I was playing with someone who was really good at steering, I'd be like, okay, you steer and I'll be the person on the back. You can play as a team. And then, we'd switch and I'd be steering and I'd be like, take it back, I'm kind of a panic gamer sometimes. All the
Yeah, so I'm a button masher in FPS for sure. I'm very much so.
But yeah, it was a good one.
She says, I grew up with RPGs, Final Fantasy, Ocarina of Time, Chrono Cross. Okay, that was a favorite. I see. All right, Katie. Okay. Oh, I'm a bullet. Come on, I can win now.
Oh, you got the bullet? Nice.
Somehow, I'm lucky. Come on, let's go. Knock him over. Boom.
Oh no, you're right behind me. No.
Use my speed. Ooh, did you explode?
Oh, you almost ran into my bomb. Nice.
I usually destroy my kids in this game, but I haven't any practice. We'll just go with that.
Well, I mean, most improved. Last round you were in 9th, and that one you took 2nd.
No, I was 10th, but yes, thank you. Yes, I paid attention this time, getting my buttons right and my audio levels right.
It cracks me up. My students will ask me to do things. They're like, Miss Devyn, will you do Trial of the Sword in class? And I'm like, guys, I'm trying to talk to you. I'm trying to look at chat. I'm also trying to do, answer questions. How am I going to focus on Trial of the Sword? I will die 100 times. They're like, yeah, do it.
Lindsay on YouTube says, I was playing Kingdom Hearts the other day. Let's go. Kingdom Hearts, man. Now are you like Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, or 3, or did you like the 1.5, the 2.5? Did you play any of those?
I played number 2, I want to say, because I didn't have a lot. We literally got the PlayStation for DDR. I love Dance Dance Revolution.
Yeah.
So we got it for that, and then I was like, ooh, Disney video games? Yes, please.
Yes.
Let's get that. So it was the one. I'm trying to think of, I haven't played any of the other Kingdom Hearts games, so I'm how could I differentiate it? But it was with Sora, obviously, Donald, Goofy, Mickey. I remember loving the Alice in Wonderland stage. That one was really cool. Alice in Wonderland is always a fun ride,
Yes. I think that's what's cool. I think that's what's great I'm not drifting right for some reason. I thought it was the maybe my buttons are backwards. Well, yeah. Oh, I'm using ZL.
Yep.
I don't know my
will
left.
honk if you don't have an item. That's what you're doing.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, so
You're just honking at everyone.
yeah, as I'm turning corners, getting mad like an old man here. Okay, that's what I love about Nintendo and the Kingdom Hearts, especially for Mario Kart and Smash Brothers and Kingdom Hearts. They're relatable characters that you know and you love. That's what I think is really special about these games, is people know Mario. And us, you and I both working in this gaming industry, you know, we can help people relate when it comes to, especially kids that you work with now who have millennial parents and Gen Xers who know this, and even boomers know Mario, I'm sure, from their kids playing. My parents.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And that's what anytime I tell people, like, yeah, I'm a video game teacher, they're like, oh, so do you play Mario Kart? That is always their question. I'm like, well, yeah. I'm like, of course. Everyone who has a Switch plays Mario Kart, you know? But yeah, it really is such an iconic character and group of characters, you know, with Yoshi and Mario and Toad and everyone. I love it.
Let's see. Abby on Twitch is saying, you have the mode that makes it so you can't go off course, just so you know. That's why the blinking tail's behind you. Oh, okay, good. Oh, yeah, I like that, not being able to fall off course. Let me see. Yep, there we go. That's nice. That's helpful. This is the kitty bumpers at bowling, isn't it? This is great.
No, it's automatic transmission versus manual, right?
There we go. Did you ever play in arcades, like growing up? Arcade games? Like in the arcade?
A little bit. So I had a bit of a weird growing up. I was born in Idaho in the U.S., but at age 9, I moved across the ocean to Barcelona, Spain, and then moved back to the U.S. and then graduated high school in Argentina. So there wasn't like an arcade scene that I could go to in Spain that I knew of. You know, I was just little, and then same in high school. It was like, well, I don't really know where to go for this and stuff. So I was not huge in the arcade scene, but you know, I do love to visit them now, and like all through college, I would go to arcades all the time. You passed me, Bubba.
That was my distraction. No. That was my distraction to ask you about Barcelona. Oh, come on, let's go, baby.
No.
Let's go.
Nicely done.
I got that
Dry
somehow.
Bones would not let me take it. Very good. Nicely done, Bubba. Very good.
Thank you. Lindsay says 1 and 2 are the best. I guess she's talking about Kingdom Hearts. She has the weird 358.2 day. That one is weird. I haven't played that one. Nancy Wynn is on YouTube. Or I pronounce it Wynn. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it. My friend growing up pronounced it that way. Nguyen. KH3. Kingdom Hearts 3 was a kind of letdown. I would say that. That makes sense. I really love Kingdom Hearts because I would play it for sure over and over. But I think 1 was probably my favorite. 2 is probably right in there because it's just fun playing with those characters. I mean, playing with Mickey and Donald and Goofy, and it's just a lot of fun.
And it was like the ultimate crossover, you know, like back when I was a kid, there would be those episodes where it was like Jimmy Neutron and Timmy Turner.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, it's video games and Disney. Like, it was the crossover I needed in my life. And I was like, this is the best thing ever. But they don't have it on the Switch, right? There's like a Kingdom Hearts musical thing that I've never like looked at. I don't know. Maybe someone in chat knows more about that because I would love to like play again, but I don't have my PlayStation. Well, my parents still have my PlayStation back at home. But...
Is that what they use as a DVD player or something?
You know, probably. I don't even know. Bubba, get back here. You're all like, oh, I haven't played Mario Kart in forever. Just let me take first place.
I don't know what it is, but like Cruising USA in the arcade, that game for me, honestly, games like that saved my life once. This funny story, and I've told this story, like, it actually happened to me where I grew up in Oklahoma City, this story, and then maybe 2 years ago, I retold this story about a mile away from this car accident that was about to happen in Oklahoma City. I was speaking to the entire state of Oklahoma athletic department about gaming and esports and why it's beneficial in schools. And I said, hey, video games saved my life. About a mile from here, about a mile from here, video games saved my life. It was a rainy day, and my mom and I were driving. I was driving the car, and a car hydroplaned in front of us. and I swerved around the car just like I would have in Cruising USA or any other driving games from Nintendo or whatever. Oh my, oh, there's a train. I'm not gonna avoid that one. Like,
it almost hit me. I was like, ah.
yeah. So I swerved out of the way, got around, and like we lived. And my mom was like, "Oh my gosh, why? How are we alive? What? How'd you do that?" I said, "Mom, video games. It saved us." So I feel like these driving games I really love the most. Even I took a shortcut. Even playing Fortnite the other day, they have cars in there. I just feel like a good driver when it comes to these games, but I do not know all the tricks, sadly.
Well, but you know, I think that's awesome because there are a lot of things about video games that can translate into real life, you know, and with even a small one like with Mario Kart and stuff, it's like you learn how to navigate on ice, you know, it's going to be slippery, you have to compensate, you know, even those little things, it really does make a difference.
Yeah.
No, not a blue shell.
Oh, let's go. Oh my gosh, that wasn't even me that did that.
Blue shells, they got me.
That wasn't
man.
even me. That wasn't even me. You still won overall.
Awesome.
That was funny.
That was good. That was a close one. That was photo finish moment.
That
right
was
there,
really photo finish. This is intense.
I love it. I love it. Oh, so good.
Katie Howard says, we're slowly taking over the chat as we do. Nancy, yes, sorry. Yes, I thank you for letting me pronounce your name correctly. Win. Chelsea Mercado, Mercio. I know I can say this last name. Mercutio. Ooh,
Maybe.
I don't know.
I'm not sure if it's I don't know. She's one of my teachers also. It sounds like all my teachers are crashing your stream, bub. I hope you're all right with that.
I'm totally okay with that. Yeah, I want to hear it. Let's see. She says, go Devyn. Abby Hauser, I never finished the most recent Kingdom Hearts. Lindsay, she's moral support. Nancy, probably the only relevant Switch one. Let's see. I learned also to drive from video games. Gran Turismo and Need for Speed 4. That's right. I wish I could take out my competition in real life with a blue shell, says Abby.
Right, that's rage road rage right there, right? Blue shell.
Katie Howard, my dad loved racing games, so it was a huge part of my family. Hey, Robert on Facebook, man. Good to see you, brother. Holler at me later today. Abby, let's see. Lindsay, I had driver for PS1. I thought it was so so many fun games.
And
okay,
so little time, right? Now you're warmed up. Are you ready, Bubba?
I think I'm ready.
Okay, we'll do one more round of 100 cc. Then we might need to up it to 200 cc is what I'm thinking.
Okay, yeah, you need to get some extra laps in to get me.
Exactly.
Get me totally lost. Okay, so we've talked about kind of growing up, gaming, and I know you and I have chatted a little before, but let's talk a little bit about moving from childhood and gaming and where you went from there to what you're doing now. What's in between in your life? Those are different careers that you're a part of, and where'd you go? What were you doing?
There's a lot of in between, isn't there? So yeah, I grew up, playing the video games, everything, and I never took a break from gaming. I have always been a gamer and stuff. In college, I would game all the time. It was one of my favorite things. We all know that there's a little bit of a stigma in the gaming community about genders, right? We all know that exists. And one of my very favorite things was I'd be hanging out with a guy that I liked, and I'd be like, "Oh, let's play a game," and he's like, "Oh, I'll teach you." I'm like, "Oh no, I can't teach you."
Mansplain the video games.
It was so fun, but so I've always played video games. I went to college, got my degree in creative writing, and a minor in Spanish. And then I got married pretty young. I've been married for 11 years this week as our anniversary.
Nice.
So
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. My husband and I, in college, I remember we would go to our college had little lounges for the guys' dorms and the girls' dorms, and they had Mario Kart. And we would every weekend we would go in there and we would just work our way down the list until we had all of the golden on all of the races and everything like that. And so I've always been gaming, always been doing that. I had a couple different careers in there, but nothing really. I have 4 children, so I spent a lot of the in between, being a mom.
That's the real career, yeah.
It really is, right? It's the one that doesn't ever end. And that you don't get paid for. It's
biggest
the
and toughest full-time job, parenting.
Exactly. Yeah. It really is. But so my husband just started going to dental school. Well, not just. He's in his 4th year, but when he started dental school, I knew I wanted to do something to help supplement our income. So I was like, well, we want to pay for dance classes and, you know, be able to live in a home that we're comfortable in, and dental school loans are for single guys and single girls. So I started teaching on Outschool, but I started with teaching English and Spanish because that's what my education was in. And my first English class I taught was a Zelda creative writing class. And so it was a 5-week class, and students would come, and it was so fun. I still teach it. And I would be like, all right, on day 1, we're going to create a new region. On day 2, we create a new, Zelda race, a new Zelda species. Day 3, we're going to create a memory and a champion. And then on day 4, you get to create your divine beast. And so I started with that. And in these classes, my students would ask me, they're like, well, Miss Devyn, I'm stuck on, Va Ruta. How do I get past this part? And I'm like, well, if I was playing the game, I could show you, but I can kind of explain it. And then they were like, well, Miss Devyn, will you make a social club? And I was kind of like, sure. Not anticipating anyone would ever sign up for it. Like, in all honesty, I was like, who's going to pay for their kids to play video games with me? I was like, I don't think anyone will, And they did, which I've learned a lot about it, because initially when I started, teaching video games, I was focused on the gaming and playing the game. And I was like, anyone can do this anywhere. But what I've seen from my students and feedback from parents is a lot of these students don't have a community of gamers. And so they feel ostracized in their, neighborhoods and their schools. And so they want to find people who have common interests and will love the game as much as they do. And it's been so cool, because now you see these kids who initially were really shy about talking about all of the Zelda lore, busting out all these facts, because they have that confidence in themselves. And so that's kind of my journey into video game teaching. It has been a journey.
That's such a great story.
Yeah, and then now I have enough students who want these classes that I've hired several teachers to teach with me and teach games that I don't necessarily play. Like Fortnite, I have a teacher who plays Fortnite. I've never picked up Fortnite, but my students said, Miss Devyn, we really want a Fortnite class. Can you get us one? And I was like, yep, I can get you one. And so these friendships are going across different games, and it's really amazing. It's a really amazing job.
I love that. I love that for you, Devyn. So we got a lot of people here. I'm old, but the CTR, I love that franchise. Okay, Crash Bandicoot. Miss Devyn is the absolute best. She's very driven, excitable, and all-around good person. I've known her for years, and she's one of my absolute favorite people. Who do you think said that?
I know it's not my husband. He's off at school right now, so I don't know. It was, I know who it is. It's Amy. I paid her right before we started. That's who it is.
No, Amy's not even here. I don't even see Amy.
I don't know an Amy.
But Kyle, he's my youth pastor. He says Mario Kart's got to be one of the best games for the show. Thanks, brother. I'm glad he's here, because he's actually gonna be doing some online teaching, but in the way of health and wellness. So you definitely should check her out, Miss Devyn Games on TikTok, brother. And he's TikTok famous. He would like that.
That's awesome.
Okay, all right. So I did horribly last game. I don't know. I picked that level, and I think that was a dumb idea because Bowser totally got me.
Well, Bowser's Castle, I love all of the renditions of Bowser's Castle, but they're not easy, right? They seem easy because it's like, oh, it's a big square. It's like, yeah, it's a big square covered in lava. So.
Yeah.
Fun fact: our dog's name is Bowser. He's in here today, hanging out with us.
Nice. What kind of dog is it?
He's a Cocker Spaniel, and he's so ferocious, right? He's clearly a fire-breathing lizard in his heart.
My kids are super excited about seeing the Mario movie this week. They don't have any qualms about the voice or whatever that I'm sure the whole gaming industry is struggling with Chris Pratt, but it's Mario, so they're super excited about watching the Super Mario movie. We're gonna go on Saturday. And
nice.
We rarely get to go see movies, so this will be a lot of fun. And Bowser is Jack Black, I believe, in the game. So I absolutely love Jack Black.
Jack Black is so good.
Yes.
I actually recently did an interview on the Kelly Clarkson show for press for the Super Mario movie, and they interviewed Jack Black and Chris Pratt and everything, and it was just so fun to see these, Hollywood famous people talk about Mario, and I love it. And Charlie Day is Luigi. It's so good.
Yeah. So I don't want to just glide over this, but you said you were on the Kelly Clarkson show.
I was, yes. They reached out to me for my video game teaching, and they said, hey, we're going to be doing some press on the Super Mario movie, and we would love for you to come on and tell us about your job as a video game teacher. I was like, let's do it. So that was just a couple weeks ago, I guess, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, they just like zoomed me in. You know, I was on like the big screen, and it was a lot of fun. It was really cool.
Okay. So I can find this on YouTube?
Yep. If you search "best job ever" Kelly Clarkson,
Oh.
that's the best way. That's the best way to find it. It's like one Utah mom is playing video games and la-da-da. I'm like, yep, I am.
Wait, how long ago was this?
It was just a couple weeks ago because they did. What do you think? When was it? It would have been. Oh, it was right around. When did it go live? I recorded it right around Valentine's Day, so I guess it was about a month and a half ago, probably.
Okay.
And then it went live a couple weeks after that, so like beginning of March was when it went live. But yeah, it was super cool. It would have been so fun to go to the studio to meet like Jack Black and Chris Pratt, but I'm like, I'm all right being on the screen. I'm more comfortable behind a computer screen.
Trying to hit me.
I got you.
Oh, no.
I got you. Yay.
No. I'm coming. Come on.
This is
speed.
course. This is from the Wii.
This is a really fun
Maple
course.
Treeway. I love this one. They just added it. This is one of the most recent DLC additions.
Oh, I was literally
so
right
close.
behind
I thought you were
you.
gonna get
I
me.
got
I
a
was like, he's
mushroom.
coming.
I got a last second mushroom for sure.
Nicely done. Very nice. Yeah.
Did you get to, who'd you get? Did you just talk to the production team, or did you get to talk to Kelly Clarkson, or how'd that work?
Yeah, so all of the like behind the scenes stuff, I was talking to the production team. They reached out to me and, you know, set everything up. But then in the actual interview, Kelly is the one who's like talking to me on the monitor. And it was cool because she was telling me that like her son plays Roblox. And it's interesting, you know, with one of the best things about my job is that I'm creating a safe place for kids to game, because online gaming is very dangerous. We all know that, you know, it's not a secret, especially if you're a child and you don't know how to spot predators, you don't know how to protect yourself. It can be very intimidating. And so we talked a lot about that, how the biggest thing about my classes is that it's a safe place. All of our classes are recorded. All the teachers go through background checks. You know, parents can watch these recordings and everything like that, and no personal information shared. And so that was our big thing that I talked about with Kelly Clarkson is like, yeah, kids can game online, and this is a way for them to learn how to do it safely and to game with other children that they know are children and not, you know, adults that may or may not have the best intentions.
I love that. And that's a big issue right now, to be honest.
It is.
Especially, I work with educators and teachers in the scholastic space in traditional school. And I don't really ever call it traditional school unless, I guess, it's now talking to you. Do you differentiate, or you just call it school and then?
Yeah. Because I'll ask my students like what kind of school they go to. So I say brick and mortar, traditional, or online, because there's so many different types of school now. Like it's incredible. So yeah, traditional school. I know what you're talking about. I got you.
Yeah. Nice.
I read it.
Oh,
I got you with that ball.
Yes, you
Yay!
did. I ran right into the last burst of it. Oh,
I thought you were too far back. Oh, you got me with the red shell though.
Oh, no, it wasn't me. I had a bomb.
That wasn't you?
Yeah,
Someone had your back then, and they were avenging you.
What's the correct time to hit A on the start on the flag or the countdown when you start?
Do it right between 2 and 1, so it goes 3, 2, push A, 1, go.
That's
so
what
it's
I
right in
thought.
between them.
I'm not hitting in the right spot.
I'll help you out on the next one. I'll tell you when to push it.
So maybe a year ago, the one of these companies here in Kansas City I partner with, they were playing in a tournament, and it was a Mario Kart tournament. And I literally, the first time I'd ever touched a Switch, and the first time I played Mario Kart on Switch, and so I was playing in this tournament against like other corporations, and asking the same questions as I did today. What button do I hit? So I need to get some more gaming in. It sounds like.
You know, there's always room for more gaming. That's my opinion. So yeah, do it. Why not?
It's almost like I could go get some education through like an Outschool somewhere, which I'd love to dive in more into that, because it's such a huge. Why are you going backwards?
I'm going backwards. What just happened? I mean, this is the Twisted Mansion, but that was very strange.
I thought, okay, what am I doing wrong?
Backwards. I was trying to trick you. You didn't fall
Yeah. Well, it did. I was about to turn around.
Totally intentional.
I was checking my thing to see if it would say, "You're going the wrong way."
That's the thing is, Lakitu didn't even tell me.
Oh, you still got it, though. Yeah, it's like you do this for a living. A couple things here. Abby says, my husband had a good point about the Mario movie. Would you really want to listen to the classic Mario voice for 90 minutes? That's true. I think that's why what Chris Pratt was saying in the movie or in an interview was no one really knows Mario's voice outside of the wahoo and the it's a me. So I get him just kind of creating another voice. And oh, Keegan Michael Key is the Toad. I love Keegan Michael Key, Key and Peele.
Yes. And he does such a good Toad voice. He's awesome. I love his Toad voice. He's like, ah!
It looks like Katie might want to do some online training with my buddy Kyle. Pay for that. Okay. You guys should connect. You guys should definitely. Everybody's telling me how to do it. Press it on 3 and then 2 and then 1 as well. Oh, okay. Or always press A immediately after it counts 2. Or so it's the frame before 2 is done. Okay, she must have Googled it. It's a frame before 2. So
frame before 2. Okay, I'll try and count you in. I'll tell you when I'm pushing A.
Okay,
we'll
that'd be good.
We'll see if I'm right.
No
Great. Now
that'd be good.
no one can see my game. They have no idea like what's happening on my end. I'm just jumping off the edges and making up stuff.
Nice. So let's jump in. Let's jump in here. We're halfway through. I wanna dive in more. You've talked about your Outschool. You talked about your teachers. You've talked about how it started. But let's break down like what happens on a. Give me a not like a sales pitch, but like what happened. Oh wait, sorry. Go. I did it early.
I did.
Oh no, but
I was stressed.
But I did pretty well. It did pretty well though. I'm still
third.
third.
You didn't spin out.
Yeah, true.
All right,
true.
what were you saying?
So,
I was like focusing on the
same.
button.
Oh my gosh, I've never played this level. This is tough.
This is a fun one.
So let's say for me, I've got 3 boys. I would love my kids to be better at Mario Kart and learn things beyond just the game, right? Because I feel like you teach more than just how to play the game, I'm sure. So a little bit of here and there. So I'm a parent. I don't think video games are good because I am fat and I didn't go out. Never went out. Or wait, I exercise and I never play video games. Let's say I'm that parent who says staying outside is better for you. Okay, so pretty typical parent. What kind of conversation do you have with a parent and convincing them that, hey, your kid could try this and come join my school? And what's your conversation like?
Yeah, so the first thing I always like to talk about is, so often video games are painted as the bad guy. They just are, that you're in your room alone, isolated in the dark, mashing buttons for 10 hours and not getting any productive anything, right? Like that's always the stigma. That is the stigma that exists. And so I like to address that. I'm like, a lot of times when people think about video games, they think of a kid alone in a dark bedroom playing mindlessly. I was like, what happens in my classroom is we get rid of the alone and the mindlessness because it's really easy to zone out playing a video game, but it's also really easy to zone out watching a movie, or it's really easy to zone out on a walk, right? Like we can do that anywhere. And so I tell them, I'm like, the first thing is in my classes, the kids aren't gaming by themselves. They are working on their social skills in these classes because they are gaming with other students. And so that's the first thing I like to talk about. I'm like, there's more to the game, and the game is just our common ground. That's just where we meet, just like a book club or just like a chess club. The game is just the common interest. And then from there, we work on social skills and we work on friendships. And the biggest thing, though, is when you're a parent and you have a kid who says, I love gaming, and you say gaming is invalid, that's not okay. That's not a good hobby. You can't like that. It does something inside of you, right? Anytime, not just with gaming, but with anything. If you said, hey, I want to play volleyball, and your parents like, volleyball isn't a real sport, you have to play soccer. It hurts,
nice. Like that.
And so I tell parents, I'm like, you need to validate your kids' interests in a healthy way. Of course, it's not healthy to sit there and play video games for 10 hours in the dark. But if you give them a place where they can be accepted and game with other kids, then that's going to build their confidence. They're going to want to play with other people more rather than by themselves because it's more fun too. And so that's, I know you were right there. I was
so
like,
close. Okay,
and so that's like the first part of my conversation that I have with parents is I'm like, it's so important, no matter what the hobby is, you've got to validate that for your kiddo. You can't tell them what to like and what not to like. And so then I also explain the social aspect. The other thing that parents like to do with my classes is use my classes as screen time management. And so they're like, hey, you can play video games as long as you're in Miss Devyn's class, but once class is over, we put away the Switch. And so I have students that are like, Miss Devyn, just 5 more minutes, please. So that also kind of takes the pressure off the parent to have to be that screen time policer. Now it's me, and my time on the class. And then the other thing about it is, along with the screen time, along with gaming with friends, is all of us as teachers, we teach these students how to game respectfully, because that's another stigma in the, in the gaming world, is that everyone's insulting each other and it's violent and it's aggressive. But in our classes, it's like, guys, this is a safe place. We're not going to bully. We're not going to put down people. You come and we have a good time and we game, and then you leave and we've had a good time and we play again next week. Even when it is a competitive game like Splatoon or, Pokemon Unite or something, it's like, we don't bully in our classes. We game together, and that teaches them that when they are gaming by themselves to kind of have that same behavior of being respectful to other gamers.
Okay. Now then, well, I'm ready for whatever we're gonna jump into. You have a crown. Wait a second. What?
I'm queen. Oh, I gotta show you this. Hold on.
All right.
Oh, where is it?
Let's see.
I have.
Good
Here it is. I bought this for Outschool when I play Mario Kart. So if a student is winning and has the crown, I'm like, you're the superstar. They're like, I'm the superstar. So I will hold on to this. You can try and take it, Bubba, but I don't know if I'm gonna give it up.
I'm coming for it. I love it. Katie Howard, preach it. Validate the hobbies. Yes, Abby, nice. Love it all. Love it all. I'm ready. I'm ready to do whatever CCs or whatever we're doing. Terminology that I need to do here.
Do you want to try a battle? Should we try something a little bit different?
Yeah. Is that like the one like the figure 8 where you go head to head or whatever?
Yeah, so there's a couple different ones. My favorite, we'll do Renegade Roundup. It's cops and robbers. And so you will either have a piranha plant on the front of your car and you have to try and catch the other team, or you are the other team and you are getting nom-nommed by the piranha plant and you go to jail. And in my class, we always say, if you eat someone, you must say nom-nom.
Okay, all right.
It's good fun.
All right.
So yeah, you will be cops or robbers. We'll see which one you are, and I'm on the other team. So.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Nathan Naragon says, "Hello, y'all." Hello. What's up, Nathan?
How's it going?
Okay. Now, when you are you've got a parent convinced, the kids are playing a normal. Let's talk about a continuum. There's kids. Do they come weekly, or and do you have like a progression plan, or how's this work when you're trying to really be consistent with a kid?
Yeah, so usually our classes are once a week. Some of them are twice a week, but for the most part, it's once a week. I really like to compare it to like a sports club or a book club. It's every week at the same time. And when we get there, all of our classes are very student-led. So I'll ask parents, you got someone. I'll ask my students, I'll be like, what do you guys want to do today? And they'll be like, well, I'm doing this in my game. Can you help me with it? I'll be like, yeah, let's do it. Or they'll be like, I really want to do this in the game. And so we just kind of start where the kids are at. And then our teachers, we prepare extra things. So like sometimes I'll have like a little trivia. Oh no, someone ate me. I'll have like a little trivia game or something like that in case, we want to do something a little different. But every week students come and we play. They ask their questions. They share their tips. Like we kind of keep track of each other's progress. When it's an online game like Mario Kart, what we'll do a lot of times is we'll do little challenges like, okay, everyone must be Shy Guy. We're playing Among Us now, Oh, you got me. I went right in front of you.
Oh, nice.
And so we'll all be Shy Guy and we'll set up the rules as like, oh, we're going to use only shells. But it teaches the kids leadership too. We let them guide the class. We're like, you're in charge of this class. You tell us what you want to do and we'll try and get to everything. And we usually do. Oh, villager got me. So I do have some students though who have been coming weekly or twice a week for well over a year now. They come every week and they build these friendships. And they, become my friends too, right? Like they love hanging out with me and my teachers. And so it really just becomes this amazing gaming community where we all just play and support each other and cheer each other on and help each other out when it's hard. And it's so fun. But yeah, they come every single week for 50 minutes to an hour. You know, that's our time frame, and they choose the game they want to play. So on my Outschool page, if you go on there, you'll see different games. So let's say Tears of the Kingdom is coming out, and your kiddo is like, "Oh, I really want to play Tears of the Kingdom, Dad, but I don't know what I'm doing." Then he could come to my Tears of the Kingdom class and learn, you know, the different tips and tricks. And then they stay as long as they want. Some students will come only like during summer break, or they'll come for like 2 weeks if they're sick. But then some parents really incorporate it into their daily lives and into their kids' schedules. And they come every week for months and months, and now years, which is just crazy to think about that it's been that long. Oh, I zoomed past you.
How long has it been? How long has it been that you've been doing?
I have been teaching on Outschool about a little over 2 years. 2 years was February. So I've been teaching on Outschool for 2 years, but I've been in the online teaching world for about 6 years. So before Outschool, I was teaching English to kids in China, which was a very different adventure.
Right. Now, I think I remember asking you, was it kids that spoke Mandarin or Cantonese or?
Yes, they spoke, I want to say they spoke Mandarin. I mean, it was all over. Most of them spoke Mandarin, but some of them spoke Cantonese.
What
it was
part?
kids all over China.
Oh, it's kids over China, yeah.
Yep, so there were some in Beijing, some in Shenzhen,
Nice.
wherever.
Nice.
There were some in Hong Kong even and stuff,
Mhm.
so yeah.
That's where I visited. I remember I was talking about Kyle in the chat. Him and I went and did soccer camps over in Hong Kong, and Cantonese was there, and I absolutely loved it. We went there 3 years in a row, 3 summers, and absolutely loved it. I know you got to see the culture over screen, but like, it's just
Oh, I would love to go someday. That would be so fun. I would love that. I really want to go to Japan. That's like top of the list. I need to go and see all the Nintendo things, you know? I need to be there.
we went to Guam this Christmas because my sister-in-law lives there, and we stopped in Japan only in the airport, and we wanted to spend 2 days, but when we booked the flights, COVID was an issue in Japan still, and so they're like, we didn't know if we'd stay 2 nights and we had to be stuck in the airport 2 nights. So Japan,
right.
I mean, we ate the McDonald's in the airport. That's about the most experience we did.
Like there was rice on the menu instead of French fries, right?
Yes.
Come here, villager.
Let's see.
Right. Gotta try to catch you.
Katie says, I'm the only person who doesn't like Renegade Round. Am I the only person who doesn't like Renegade Roundup?
Oh, are you?
Give me
I
all the
love
bomb
this
blasts.
Oh, Bomb Blast is a fun one too. Oh, I see you, Bubba. Coming for you.
Oh, shoot.
No.
Come on now. Come at me now. Come at me now.
So far behind you.
Go.
Where are you? Oh no! You had a star. Nice.
Yeah, I was waiting to hit it. Katie says, I love seeing all the fan art the students bring. These kids have amazing talents in and out of the game.
It's so true. And that's something we love to talk about too, is like other skills that just start with gaming. Like we're gonna add some music classes that are piano classes, but instead of learning your traditional piano songs like Beethoven and Mozart, we're gonna learn Zelda's Lullaby, and we're gonna learn KK Slider songs. So we just, like I said, the video games really are just the starting point. Here, Iggy, I see you.
Is this one? So is this one not? Do I still have the? Well, I'm in a cage.
You're in the cage. Yep, you are the robber now, and I am the policing force because I've got the piranha plant.
Oh.
You're free.
Okay, so not everybody has
Jailbreak.
a piranha plant. Okay, I'm getting it.
Yep, you're on
destroyed.
team robbers right now. You have stolen the superstar or something. We could create some kind of elaborate
So did that happen
backstory.
last time? So last time you guys were going into the cage when I bit you or ate you. Oh, okay.
Yep, exactly.
I get it. Okay. All right. Okay.
Nom noms, got you. Oh, I almost got you. You escaped me. No.
Yeah, let's go.
Booty. Let's see. Where are you?
Ooh. I love the little flying feather. Like this Mario, this homage to Mario 3 here. I like that.
Yep, you got a little Tanuki moment there. I love it too. You get to do a little fancy spin in the air. It's always
so
fun.
You said a word I don't know, Tanuki.
Tanuki, yeah, that is the type of raccoon that Mario is when he has the feather. I think. Like someone in chat might be like, "No, you're wrong."
It's pronounced Tanuki.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And it's interesting because that's something else in my classes that like students know that they know things, right? And so as teachers, we like to encourage them. It's like, if we don't know something, teach us. And the amount of confidence that instills in a kiddo to teach an adult something that the adult legitimately did not know is massive, And so they'll be like, Miss Devyn, did you know this about Zelda lore? Or did you know this about, Pokemon? And I was like, I didn't. They're like, oh yeah, I knew that. I was like, that's awesome. Thanks for teaching me,
That's what I was wondering, actually. What have you learned from kids during your Outschool classes, or about the game, or about the game, or about the lore of the game? What's something you've learned besides that?
I've learned, let me think. Some of the things I've learned, I mean, they've taught me a lot about Zelda lore. I've played Zelda games, but I've never really dived deep into the Zelda lore. And so they'll tell me things, and then I'll go research it after, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I've learned a lot of Zelda lore from my students. They've taught me a lot of different little tips and tricks just in the game. My students have basically single-handedly taught me how to play Splatoon because I was like, I want to play this game. This would be fun. And my students wanted a social club. I was like, you guys are going to have to teach me what to do because I don't know what I'm doing. So they're like, you got to do this, and this is how you get good gear. And I still die every time, but I've learned a lot. So a couple of those different things. I've taught them a lot about vintage video games. I have my N64, and I show them this was how we played Pokemon. You had the controller, you had your Game Boy pack, you put it into the controller, you plugged that in, and then you would play it. They're like, why are there so many steps? I'm like, the internet did not exist. The internet did not exist, I know. And so, and in a fun one I've taught them is in Arceus or Arceus, however chat's going to tell me how to say it. I go back and forth. But anyway, in Pokemon Arceus, there's an item called a link cord to trade Pokemon if you don't have someone to trade with. And I'm like, guys, this was a real life thing. This was an actual thing you purchased from Walmart. They're like, no, it wasn't. I was like, yes, it was. So,
which one was that? Which exactly was it again?
The link cord.
The
or
link
cable.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep. So you would connect your Game Boy to another Game Boy so that you could trade Pokemon. And yeah.
Well, that makes me think. The other day, I know you probably spend. I don't know if you spend as much time on TikTok as I do, since you have good content. So you're probably not having to watch as much. But I saw some guy was explaining to a kid, "Hey, I'm trying to get this Nintendo game to work in his NES, and it wasn't working." And so he pulled out the Game Genie, and he says, if you use the Game Genie instead of blowing into the cartridge. It will load up the game for you easier than trying to just blow on it and use rubbing alcohol or whatever. And it just was a lot of memories there. Like, oh my gosh, man, you got a Game Genie, bro? Oh, we could do cheat codes and everything.
You were king of the playground. If
yes,
you
really were. Dude, come over my house, dude. I got a Game Genie, bro.
Right? Yeah, it's fun too, with games. I've explained this to my students, and this is another thing I explain to parents. I'm like, some games you absolutely must have online play to complete them.
Yes.
So a great example is Pokemon. That's the one I always use, because if you want to finish the Pokedex and get Gengar, you have to trade a Haunter. There's no other way to do it. You have to have the online play, but parents naturally are wary about letting their kids just explore the worldwide internet, right? And so again, the classes are so good for that, because it's yep, you guys can trade together. You know that the person you're trading with isn't going to keep your Haunter, that you have worked so hard on all of its training and stuff. You can trust them. And so some games anymore, the online aspect is so crucial to gameplay that you cannot progress sometimes unless you have the online play.
Yes, I love that. And that, how many conversations are you having with parents about internet safety at that point? Just because, well, I mean, I'm 40, so I have a 13-year-old and an 11-year-old and a 7-year-old, and we're talking about internet safety. Do you have a lot of just naive parents that are like, so online video games, how do I protect my kid? Are you giving any advice there? Are you sending them resources, Common Sense Media? What kind of questions do you get there?
Yeah, a lot of it just depends on what they ask. They'll ask me things because, for example, in Mario Party or Mario Kart, we had to share our friend code, right? To be able to connect, we had to share friend codes. So parents will ask me questions like that, is my kid if my kid is playing online with a friend code, who can see him or who can see her? How do I keep them safe? But honestly, it's more conversations with the students than with the parents. The parents who are in my classes already, they get it, and they have found Outschool as this resource to let their kid game safely. So a lot of times they understand. Hey, we chose the same one. That's awesome.
Let's go.
On the same wavelength. So they understand and they get it. And they, so they're not necessarily naive, but there are some classes on Outschool that are really amazing in educating people. Like I have a good teacher friend who teaches Roblox classes.
Okay.
And Roblox, as we know, is a massive online space with a chat. It's very vulnerable for children. And there are some classes on Outschool that are literally Roblox safety classes. So these kids come and they learn, this is what you need to look for. This is the kind of red flags. These are the kinds of things you don't reveal. And then they can join a social club if they want to and game there. But if they don't, it's like now you know how to see these things and to be safer. So Outschool has a ton of those resources because Outschool isn't just for gaming. It's all sorts of hobbies. You can find anything on there. And it's really incredible. Really incredible resource.
That's great. Okay, so Outschool has resources that are videos or people that can teach you how to manage internet safety or just resources?
People who teach you. So it would be just like as if you were joining Miss Devyn's Mario Kart Social Club and you come every week. There are Roblox classes that are the same thing that teach that kind of Roblox safety or online gaming safety. There's all sorts of classes. There's also like a lot of teachers will teach in the vein of gaming, like how to create videos and edit videos using OBS, using, how to start a YouTube channel, all these different things. So honestly, with Outschool, what it is they allow teachers to teach whatever they're passionate about and whatever they know. And so you get a whole bunch of amazing, amazing, knowledgeable teachers. And there's even some lessons. I have a good friend who teaches a class on video game addiction and how to be careful about that and how to recognize it and stuff. And again, these are all classes for children. So parents can watch them and learn from, what their children have learned, but these are all geared towards children. You have to be under 18 years old to take a class on Outschool. So for a child to learn about video game addiction, that's massive, and in a space where the teacher understands video games and has the education to talk eloquently and intelligently about it rather than just Googling like, are video games addictive? Yes, they are. Don't, it's a much better source of information.
Could you do evergreen content, or it's always a conversation or a live one-on-one with a teacher or a group or something? It couldn't just be like a lesson you post and then people watch it?
You can do both. So those are called flex classes on Outschool.
Gotcha.
And usually those are more, just traditionally, they're more the educational classes so that students can do them in their own time. I personally don't have any flex classes because mine are the social element rather than like the education element. And so mine are all live, but there are a lot of teachers who will post flex classes, and it's basically like an asynchronous class where the video is posted. They can watch it on their own time, everything like that. So it is out there, but I personally don't have any just because of the style of my classes.
Yeah. Everybody, you guys almost got, or I don't know.
I know, there was only one of you left.
Now, there we go.
Freed you, no! It's always fun doing these with the students. They get very, very intense about it, They're like, oh, you got me, come save me! And everyone's on Zoom talking. It gets to be organized chaos. It's good fun.
Yeah. So, Miss Devyn, as we wrap up here, I think that was great. I should have said that was the last game because that was good.
Yep.
That was fun.
That was good. And we ended 2-2, so it was perfect.
Okay, all right. Let's got a soccer score. So, where do you want, with this last few minutes here, where do you want to go with Miss Devyn Games or with what you do in Outschool or your company or gaming? Where do you see yourself in the next 2 to 5 years?
Well, what I'm hoping to do is, I've hired on all these new teachers, and I really want to just continue to add more gaming classes for students on Outschool. That's my first step. I'm starting to add some music, some more edutainment, like the Zelda writing, some art classes. But what I've found also as I've started, delving into TikTok more and more is that adults want this as well. Adults really want to have a place where it's non-toxic gaming, where they can make real friends that are gamers like them. And so I really want to grow to have an adult platform also
Mm.
where adults can come
Okay.
and we can all game together and
Yeah,
same kind
yeah.
of thing. You know, there's one teacher moderator to make sure things don't get out of control, but basically have classes for adults too. I think that would be really an awesome thing. I think a lot of adults would love that.
I think it's amazing. Okay, so you get the 60-second hot seat. I'm gonna give you the solo screen, and you get to promote whatever you want to promote.
Oh boy.
You can talk about whatever you want to talk, but you get up to 60 seconds screen to yourself. And ready, set, go.
All right. Well, guys, I'm really glad you guys came. Thanks for hanging out with us. So my name is Miss Devyn. Again, if you want to find my classes, the best way is just go to outschool.com/teachers/Miss Devyn. And it's with a Y, not an I. So MISSDEVYN. I am on TikTok. Come hang out with me. I'm going to start streaming a little bit on Twitch also with some of my teachers. So if you want to start to get to know my teachers, make sure you follow Miss Devyn Games on TikTok and all of the updates will be there. But the biggest thing I have to say, guys, is just let the kids game, let them game in a good place, have them come to classes if you're worried about it. But we have so many classes from Zelda to Mario Kart to Roblox, or not Roblox, excuse me. I have a teacher who does Roblox, to Pokemon, everything like that. So I would love to see your students in my classroom and they can come hang out with us. It's always a good time. We always have so much fun. So thanks for coming, guys.
Amazing. Well, Miss Devyn, thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. I haven't played Mario Kart in a while, and it's a very entertaining, fun game.
It's a great one.
Thank you for teaching me things. It's like you're a natural.
Just have a little bit of experience, Well, thanks so much for having me, Bub. I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Yes. If you want to hang out in that back room, I'll shut down the show and I'll come send you off after that.
Sounds good. See you later, guys.
Thank you all so much for being here today. It was so much fun playing some Mario Kart. Come back on Friday. We're going to play actually some Minecraft. The first time I've done Minecraft on the show with William Walker. We're going to talk about mental health. We're going to talk about diversity, equity, inclusion. And we're going to build something on Minecraft. I don't know. I've built a roller coaster and I built like a logo and some stuff with red stone. I'm going to learn a lot, I hope, and we're going to have fun. But please come back on Friday in the afternoon. It's 3 Eastern. And we'll have some fun. But thank you for coming to Invite Sent. You guys, please use !charity in the chat if you'd like to support the Video Games and Esports Foundation to help kids in low-income schools, disenfranchised youth with access to gaming in schools. Thank you so much. Stay amazing. See you next time.
Hello. My name is Christy Kester. As a public educator for the past 24 years, I have watched as interest in esports has exploded in schools across the world. Last fall, I joined the High School Esports League and helped to establish the education department. Since then, we have been working hard to integrate esports into education to create a scholastic gaming experience where students can learn, play, and compete. With our evidence-based, STEM.org-approved gaming concepts curriculum, schools can offer 4-credit classes during the school day that help improve chronic absenteeism, student engagement, and mental health.
As a senior health advisor for High School Esports League and a former ER physician, I see the incredible need for supporting mental health in students in today's schools. In fact, schools at a formidable crossroads where a pervasive and persistent decline in youth mental health now intersects with staff burnout. This has not been a sudden problem, but rather one we've seen over decades. The American Academy of Pediatrics announced in 2019 that 1 out of 3 students meets the criteria for generalized anxiety disorder before graduation. And the CDC reaffirmed that between 2009 and 2019, depression increased in adolescents by roughly 40%. The most telltale sign that grabbed all of our hearts was when the Surgeon General announced in December of 2021 that female adolescents increased their visits to the emergency departments around the nation by 51% for suicidal ideations. In the face of this, schools are desperately seeking solutions and ways to support those that struggle with mental health challenges. Now, these statistics that I mentioned are averages. We know there are some cohorts that are at higher risk, particularly those students who do not feel they have a safe place or a legitimate connection to school. That's where esports represents a tremendous opportunity. Students who are not currently involved with sports, music, arts, and traditional extracurriculars are left with minimal opportunities to make a connection. Yet many of these students find connections to their friends and other social outlets through online activity, including gaming. So, Scholastic Gaming represents an opportunity to leverage an area of interest into a legitimate class that meets state standards and expectations, all through an evidence-based curriculum that can simultaneously support self-esteem, self-efficacy, and life skills in many kids who desperately need it.
Hi, my name is Michael Russell. During my career as a teacher, I was fortunate enough to have the support of my administrator as I began the journey to establish the first 4-credit Scholastic Gaming course in the nation. At HSEL, we have the resources and data to help you speak with your administrators about the impact that Scholastic Gaming and esports can have for your students. We have strategies that can help you with acquiring technology and curriculum, such as ESSER funds, grant applications, and partnerships. The High School Esports League has invested significant resources in helping our education partners, and we are excited about this opportunity to help you establish Scholastic Gaming in your school.
We're at the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup. Let's make some noise. Oh, and it's gonna
jumped into it. Corner judges go for 1, 2, dip. He needs more. And they're doing even more here.
You gotta touch the point. Mr. College walks it in.
Toy Boy just gonna drop. Knife him.
Right out front.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Running.
Life is busy. Every day we ask questions like, what's happening today? What should I wear? How am I going to fit everything in? But then there are bigger questions like, why am I here? What's my purpose? Where am I heading? Is there more to life than this? These are some of life's big questions, but there's rarely enough time to think them through. That's why Alpha exists. Alpha is a place to explore life's big questions in a safe and open environment. It's a series of sessions where anyone can share their thoughts and opinions and ask questions without feeling judged. When you come to an Alpha, you'll notice that first, there's food. Whether it's a full meal or a light snack, this is the time to get to know each other in a casual setting. Next, you'll watch an Alpha Talk. The talks are created to engage and spark conversation. They explore big issues around faith from a Christian perspective. After the talk is a time for discussion. This is the most essential part of any Alpha. It allows everyone to share their own opinions on the ideas presented in the talks. It's a time for people with different thoughts, beliefs, and experiences to ask honest questions and have open conversation. Every week, there are guests coming for the first time to an Alpha in their community. Alpha is for everyone, regardless of background or beliefs. There's no pressure, no follow-up, and it's completely free to attend. Come and explore life's big questions. Find an Alpha near you today.